Yo, this is Deontay the Bronze Bummer Wilder, heavyweight champion of the world, and you're watching Real Fans, Real Talk.
Real Fans, RealTalk.com. Where Arthur Diamonds trip young and intern time. For the white and black fans, Asia to Manhattan. I get all my facts from my bro Mark the Stats Man. If you're not tuned in, I recommend the CAT scan. And if your brain checks out, then you deserve a backhand. Sports, gossip, all the hot topics. Real Fans, RealTalk.com got it. They got the hottest bloggers.
Is Jeremy Lin hurt?
Well, log onto the site and you can hear it from them first. I'm talking about the latest. I'm talking about the greatest. Go check out the archives. Even tell a neighbor. Tell him Bobby sent ya. From spring to winter. Tuning in should be the only thing on your agenda. Certified cosign. You know what I'm about, son. Real Fans, RealTalk.com. I'm out one. Real Fans, Real Talk. Real Fans, Real Talk. Real Fans, RealTalk.com. Real Fans, RealTalk.com. Real Fans, Real Talk. Real Fans, Real Talk. Real Fans, RealTalk.com. Real Fans, RealTalk.com.
Is talking about the Giants right now. They're over there talking about the Cowgirls, and the Giants won against the Bears and the Browns, which are two easy teams to beat. But at the same time, the Cowgirls beat them too. Now the Cowgirls are playing.
Wait, but now I don't mean to cut you off, Stat Man, but the Cowgirls they did lose this season, correct?
Yes, and
who they lose to?
They lost to the New York Giants.
Say it one more time.
They lost to the New York Giants.
The Giants of New York, the football
Blue,
team,
aka G-Men. Yes, we're referring to the same exact organization.
No, I didn't want to confuse anybody at home. That's why I needed you to clarify what was going on with that. And and shout out to Shawn Fontaine as well. I know he's riding hard for
and that
those
was
Cowgirls.
in Dallas too, by the way.
But it was in Dallas that they did beat up on the Cowgirls. And so when they come to Meadowlands, we should do the same thing.
Probably
we got two more weeks.
Probably
a little bit worse because everybody's clicking right now. The offense is clicking, the defense is clicking. We even got a little bit of a running game sprinkled in there every so often. When Rashard Jennings can get going. So I'm loving it, man. I'm loving where this thing is going. It's 6 in a row. The last 2 games, Browns and the Bears. But you know what? Those are the games that a lot of teams, they sneak up on you and you'll lose those games. So you can only
maybe not the Browns because they haven't beaten anybody.
Yeah, they haven't beaten anybody. But you can only play up to the competition that's in front of you, and you still got to win those games. Like you said, we're in the NFC East, so everybody in the East is pretty much playing the same teams. And the team with the best record in football now, we beat them. So. You gotta love that.
Plus, they're playing the Vikings tonight in Minnesota, and that's the Vikings got off to a hot start. They've been a little shady as of late, but that defense is still no joke, and you're actually going to see Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott get tested tonight. Still the best offensive line in the league, but I think that this is the game that the Cowgirls lose on their 10-game winning streak. And that's great news for us Giants fans because we'll control our own destiny with the NFC East. If we beat Dallas, when we beat Dallas on December 11th, we would have.
Sure you say that right.
We would have the tiebreaker, and that we control our own destiny basically if the Vikings beat Dallas, which I think they will tonight. What do you think about tonight?
I think it's gonna be cold in Minnesota, and I'm going.
Dak's not exactly used to that.
Yeah, being in Texas, but I'm looking forward to this game. I know we're only gonna get to the second half, but I'm going with the Vikings on this one. I think the buck stops here for the Cowgirls, and then like you said, we ready for them in 2 weeks. That defense is we looking good out there. The secondary, Eli Apple got them kids out there, looking really good. Everybody's pepped up. Javaris Jenkins. Then you got the D line is looking well, as well. So you gotta love that, man. It's crazy, But I like what's going on with the Giants. And we're gonna keep rocking and rolling. We got a nice game this week, coming up that we're gonna definitely, we gotta win and just keep going where we're going. But we got the Steelers, who I also dislike because they're also in the AFC North with the Ravens, But Peyton came over to MetLife Stadium to give Eli a couple of tips. and help him out game plan for Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers. So I'm pretty sure the Giants should be able to get a win there this week, and we just got to keep going. After that, it's time. It's time.
I mean, that's a big matchup there. Big Ben, Eli Manning, same draft class and everything. But before we move on from the Cowgirls, we do have a fan mail question because the Cowgirls are the topic, nationally, and it's the so-called America's team and all that, where they have two possible candidates for both Rookie of the Year and MVP, and they're the same two people. Now, Rookie of the Year and MVP, and then you have two. That's, you got to give it up for them. That's something that's never been done before. I think, personally, the offensive line is the reason for both of their success. Mm-hmm. So I think you got to take away from that. But we had Lewis from Austin, Texas, write in. Who is more deserving of the MVP, Ezekiel Elliott or Dak Prescott?
Well, for me, I gotta say Dak Prescott. And I don't want to take away from Ezekiel Elliott because he's having a great season, great, running the football well behind that line. Like you said, they both benefit from that line. But when it comes down to, controlling the game, I gotta go with Dak Prescott, especially, and I like to reference back to the Eagles game a couple of weeks ago. He led them down the field, for that game-winning drive. That wasn't, Ezekiel Elliott leading the way. That's Dak Prescott who's leading the way out there. So, I gotta go with Dak Prescott on that.
Well, the other argument would be Ezekiel Elliott's success, opens up, the success for Dak Prescott because there's a big run threat, and that makes it easier for any quarterback. But I'm not going that route. I agree with you, actually. I think, they both go hand in hand. If you have a good quarterback, it opens up the run. If you have a good running back, it opens up the pass. So it works both ways.
And they have a great O-line that opens up both.
I think the leadership and the fact that he's a fourth-round pick and kind of got thrown in there, had no expectation of playing this year, and is doing what he's doing, puts icing on the cake as far as his candidacy. I don't think either one, in my opinion, is deserving of the MVP, because if you have two candidates on the same team that are deserving of the MVP, I think that hurts both of them, because there's two great players that are, the reason for your success. So that doesn't make either one of them that much of a league MVP. So I would go with Derek Carr, who kind of has a little bit less to work with. Amari Cooper is a great wide receiver, a young guy who's looking great. He's got Crabtree.
Roll Tide, by the way, when you say Amari Cooper.
Still not anywhere near the offensive weapons when you look at Witten and Des Bryant and that offensive line and Ezekiel Elliott. So I think Derek Carr, the fact that he's in the lead for the best record in the AFC, tied with the New England Patriots. You got to give it to Derek Carr if the season were to end right now.
And they've been getting better, the past couple of years. And now, Latavius Murray, he's actually coming on too. So they have a little bit of a running game.
He has the signs of life, but he's definitely no Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh, no, not by a long shot.
He's doing his job. He had one hell of a game, I think, against Denver recently as well. So
they're winning close games. They're winning the games that they're supposed to win, and that's the thing. You have to win all of those games that you're supposed to win, and then they're going against the tough teams. And right now, tied with the Patriots for, like you said, for the best record in the AFC. They're doing great, and it's all because of, I'm not going to say all, but it's, a lot of that is attributed to Derek Carr and the season that he's having right now. So I got to agree with you on that. That's actually my pick for MVP right now is Derek Carr. He's been the most consistent. He's putting up those numbers, and hats off to Dak and Ezekiel Elliott both. Because
and plus,
they have great
his
seasons.
defense is, on the Raiders is not that good. So it's really all on him. Like he was really got to win in a shootout in a lot of cases. So,
and he's getting the job done over and over again. He's getting the job done. And I do agree. I think that both of them having such a great season does kind of affect their their bid for MVP. But what's gonna suck is if they don't, which I think they should probably, if anything, I think they should get Cole Offensive Rookie of the Year. But if they don't, who do you think should get the Rookie of the Year if they only give it to one of those guys? It's rough, right?
I gotta say Dak Prescott for the same reason. The fact that he's a fourth round pick came in there not expecting to play a game and out there leading the team for all the reasons that, I feel he should. If I feel he should win the MVP between the two of them, then he's got to be the one winning the Rookie of the Year between the two of them.
I got you. Well, shout out to the fans. You guys can write in, send all your fan mail questions in, fan mail at realfansrealtalk.com. And we'll send you guys. We'll answer the questions on the show. And if you aren't already, make sure you following us on all our social media: Facebook.com/RealFansRealTalk, Instagram and Twitter at RealFanTalk. Check us out on the web, RealFansRealTalk.com, and subscribe to that YouTube channel. YouTube.com/For the Fans Productions. There's a whole lot up there. We got the math interview up there. Y'all know how crazy math is. So definitely make sure you guys check out that interview, especially the extended version, that we didn't get on the live show, but it's definitely a lot of great interviews up there on the site. So make sure you guys check out the website, realfansrealtalk.com for that. And we got a lot more.
Great interview because you asked most of the questions with Math, but you've been a fan of his since the beginning, so I could tell the passion in that interview. Was a great interview. If you're a fan of battle rap, definitely worth checking that out. And also we have our Real Fans Real Talk group page. If you just go to Facebook and search Real Fans Real Talk, you can get part of the discussions that we have on there. And one of the things I posted during the whole Kevin Durant thing, when Kevin Durant went to the Warriors, I said I was kind of glad that, Kevin Durant left for Russell Westbrook's sake, because I feel Westbrook is the better of the two. Mm-hmm. And I said that without Kevin Durant there, he's going to put up Big O type numbers, and look at what he's doing. And when I said Big O, I meant triple-double for a season, and it's December now, and he's averaging over a triple-double for the season thus far. Do you think he carries this all the way through to the end of the season? What's your thoughts on Russell Westbrook?
With Westbrook, is definitely possible because he does so much, and now, that Durant is not there. He's doing even more. So it's definitely possible. And he's just having a great season.
And he was close to it with Kevin Durant. So,
he was close to it with them. So
maybe
now
some of the assists might be a little bit down, and the rebounds a little bit down with Durant there. Yeah. Because you pass the ball to Durant, and then he runs isolation. You don't get the assist on that. Whereas he's really the floor general in this case, setting people up. The
only way I see him messing up and not getting it is if Enes Kanter does what he said he was going to do. And he said, we're going to have to start boxing Russell out because he's not saving any rebounds for the big guys. So if he starts doing that, then maybe he won't. But if he plays,
I'm pretty sure he said that in a joking way.
He's trying to get his numbers up, man.
To have the player on your team that does something historic like that,
you want to be a part of that.
Yeah, definitely. So you might want to get out of the way to help him get a few
he's probably gonna be just boxing everybody else out just so Westbrook can get those extra rebounds.
That'll be funny to see him shove Enes Kanter to get a rebound.
Well, listen, it works out for everybody because he's gonna be feeding Enes Kanter a lot in the paint to get those assists up, as well as Steven Adams and all the other bigs they have in OKC. But it's great to watch. When you got history in the making. We saw the Warriors break the bullshit a couple of years ago. So if somebody else does it, do what Oscar Robertson did, that's amazing to see it during our generation.
That's something I thought that would probably never be broken. Then we saw how Russell Westbrook was doing, and then I predicted it. It's there on the Real Fans Real Talk group page. I put it in the summer, way before the season started. So the Statman prediction is looking like it might be a possibility, but. Steph Curry was the first ever unanimous MVP last year. If Russell Westbrook gets the triple-double, do we see him as the second unanimous MVP?
Here's the thing. It's a great feat to get, but I don't think that him averaging a triple-double guarantees him the MVP. And that, which is kind of crazy because you think if somebody averages triple-double,
they'd have to be at least a 5 seed. In the playoffs.
I gotta think. When was the last time an MVP was on a team that was lower than even a 4 seed?
I mean, Harden and the Rockets, he didn't win. He was second, or that year to Steph Curry 2 years ago, and he was upset about that. And I think, he didn't win, but he was a lower seed. I think he was around 5 or 4 or something like that.
So it's kind of rough. That's why I say so. It might even need to be in 4th.
But that's the true definition of MVP. Like, if he's not on the team, they're on like the bottom of the Western Conference, dead last.
I agree. It's just, but that's just we got to go by what the voters are going to actually do, and I don't think he'll get it if he averages a triple double, but the team does not finish at least in 4th place, which is it's going to be rough in the Western Conference regardless because there's so many great teams, but I feel like they won't give it to him just because the team doesn't have that that record to go along with the great season that he's having.
I mean, I think he'd still get it. It might not be a unanimous MVP, but I think he would still get it as long. I would say as long as he's a 5th seed.
Yeah.
Just for the reason that I mentioned, that they'd be dead last or second to last, if it wasn't the case. So you mentioned at the top of the program with Kilpatrick, Phil from Fort Greene wrote in. What do you guys think about Shawn Kilpatrick's performance against the Clippers? Kind of touched on it briefly, but once again, 38 points, 14 rebounds, a double-double, not a triple-double, only 2 assists. He's a guard too, so
he's shooting guard. So
yeah,
if he was a point guard, I might have been like, all right, you gotta get your assistant. But nobody, he's a shooting guard, so
14 rebounds, and I mean he was clutch double overtime thriller with the Clippers. Mm-hmm. They got blown out by them in their last game. And they come back on this one and get the job done.
Without my main man, Jeremy Lin, with his cornrows and all that. First of all, shout out to Fort Greene, man. That's home. So shout out to Fort Greene. I love it, man. I love seeing. I mean, I always support Brooklyn and everything that's coming out of Brooklyn. So anytime, we get a couple of guys that excel, and we saw him, in person a couple of weeks ago at the Pistons game, and he was having a great game that night. So it's not even like this is just, a fly-by-night kind of thing. Like he's putting in these numbers, and we're talking about a kid who was in the D League, and now he's playing for the Brooklyn Nets. He's in the primetime market, and he's having those games, and he's doing it against some really good defensive teams. I mean, we talk the Clippers. I believe right now they're one of the top defensive teams. So and then you got Chris Paul out there who's one of the premier defenders, and once you get in that paint, you got DeAndre Jordan, one of the leading shot blockers, and he pretty much and we're talking about 31 points in the second half. So he pretty much did what he wanted to do, between the second half and overtime and double overtime. But he pretty much did what he wanted to do. I love it, man. 6'4" guard. And, he's playing some great basketball. I hope he continues. I hope, when Jeremy Lin, finally, works his way back into the lineup, they can continue kind of build off of his strong play, And shout out to Isaiah Whitehead, too. Another, Brooklyn native who he got to start in that game as well. He played a lot, and he's been improving game by game. So it's really good seeing those young cats, just come in and play ball for Brooklyn. Because, we need it. We need that inspiration. We don't got no superstars just yet, but if one of these guys can turn in.
That's the thing. There's no superstars, and, they get a win against a team like the Clippers, and, they play good team basketball, but, I mean, they don't have the superstars. Do you think that the Nets have any chance of sneaking in a low seed into the playoffs this year?
It's the East, so you always have a chance, especially, I mean, you win a game like this, this is a huge morale boost for that team. So, I can see them kind of sneaking into the 8th seed if they can continue this. Because, when Jeremy Lin comes back, who also, being at that, at the Pistons game, he had an amazing game that night. I mean, Brook Lopez is knocking down threes now, which is, completely unheard of for me. So I think that they can get it together. But like I said, it's the Eastern Conference, so maybe they could snatch an 8th seed and make it to the playoffs. But we gotta wait and see, how things are gonna go. It's a building process right now with the Nets. I'm not expecting them to do well anytime soon, So, but I do think that that they can sneak in just because it's the Eastern Conference. But we gotta wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, they're 5-12.
It's still going to be all about Brooklyn, though. Just in case y'all forgot. So you got to support the borough.
Very low, start at 5-12 right now.
Yeah.
Long ways to go on the comeback, but I mean, if you show signs of life like that, with beating a team like the Clippers and hanging with them through the double overtime and getting the W, then maybe it's a sign of things to come. The Knicks, started out a little bit slow. They're at 500 now, 9-9. Where do you think they finish? I know you said that you felt if they stay healthy, that it'll be Cavs, Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. And but where do you think that the Knicks would finish?
If they continue, and the one positive is they're playing, this well and coming on like this, in spite of Joakim Noah not playing, like the Joakim Noah that we've known, the Defensive Player of the Year, Joakim Noah. Like, I don't even see him at 40% of what we're used to seeing from Joakim Noah. So, the fact that they're actually getting that chemistry together, and they're improving game by game. Guys like Brandon Jennings is stepping up. And I love the fact that Porzingis is so confident in his shot on the offensive end. I mean, he's squaring up and popping water from the three in people's faces. No fear in his heart, so you got to love that. Melo is playing good ball. I know they struggle sometimes on those back-to-back nights, but a lot of teams struggle on the back-to-back nights. So
especially back-to-back road games.
And I just think that the main thing is that the chemistry is getting stronger as the season goes along. And like you said, I did say they would be playing against the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals as long as they can stay healthy, and everybody's staying healthy. Derrick Rose is looking really good right now. He's not MVP Derrick Rose, but it
wasn't a loss.
Yeah, but he's playing great basketball right now, and he's looking good out there. Brandon Jennings, like I mentioned, Courtney Lee is playing very well. Holiday coming off the bench. Yeah, even guys like Kyle O'Quinn are coming in and giving the Knicks solid minutes. So you gotta love what they're doing right now. You got to look at that. I know you're happy.
Oh, definitely.
about that. Like I said, I do see them in the Eastern Conference Finals because they're only going to get better as the season moves forward.
And Carmelo Anthony with the game-winning shot. He has 14 game-winning shots late in the fourth quarter and overtime since the 03-04 season. That is first overall. Second is Kobe Bryant and Dirk Nowitzki with 12. So, I mean, Carmelo Anthony is clutch. Like, when it comes down to game-winning shots, they give him the ball and he manages to get the job done. So that's an important thing to have on a championship caliber team. Jordan was always able to do it. He's nowhere near as good as Jordan, but when it comes to that, game-winning shot all the way at the end, his percentages are higher than Kobe Bryant and throughout history, and higher than most out there throughout history. So he's that's a key factor to have. Porzingis, as you mentioned, it was we had a couple of sophomores here with Karl Anthony Towns and Porzingis battling it out against the Timberwolves. And
Towns got the numbers, but the Knicks got the W, which is more important. But he played a great game though. Career high scoring and whatnot. So that you gotta love that. They're a good young team, but at the end of the day, you want the W because that's what's gonna determine who makes the playoffs and who doesn't.
Yeah, and Porzingis has he has his shining moments out there as well. With other games, but he's also got two other stars on his squad with Carmelo Anthony and Derrick Rose. So but it's great to see the Knicks winning 9-9 right now. But in order for that to happen, the Eastern Conference, the way the brackets are set up, the Knicks would have to finish second, third, sixth, or seventh in order to play. Assuming that Cleveland finishes in first, in order for them to not play each other earlier than the conference finals. So where do you think the Knicks will finish? Second, third, sixth, seventh, or something else?
I would probably say sixth. But you know what? Like I said, if
they play fourth or fifth, then they're going to play each other in the second round.
And I said I'm not really going to judge the Knicks and how either good or bad they are until around the All-Star break because so many new pieces coming together, and I do, I would hope at least, that Joakim Noah starts to play up to, to his level of talent. We've known of Joakim Noah, who's also a New York native as well, and I think he will eventually get back into the groove of things. But so I'm gonna hold off a little bit until we get to the All-Star break. Once we get to the All-Star break, then I'll give a better assessment of the Knicks and where they are and whatnot, because it's still early. They got a lot more gelling to do. As even though the chemistry is improving, they still got a ways to go. So I'm not gonna judge them too harshly right now. But 9-9 from where they started at, because they started with 2-7, I think they were earlier in the season. So I'm gonna reserve my judgment until the All-Star break, and then I'll start, getting back to my usual bashing of the Knicks if they're not doing what they're supposed to do.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't expect anything different from you, Trip.
I mean, what can I say, man? It's my thing. Certain teams I just like to bash every opportunity that I can. I mentioned the Eagles don't have any Super Bowls every so often. I talk about the Cowgirls. David's not here this week, so I'm going to spare the Jets this week. I'm not going to say anything negative about the Jets this week, even though they, blew that game against the Patriots, this past Sunday. But that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say nothing else about the Jets,
But I mean, the Jets, it's not really news. It's kind of like same old.
Yeah,
so it's not,
and that's true.
We're usually, when we talk about the Jets, we're usually making fun of them, and that's pretty much all you can do with them.
I'm trying to change that, man. I don't want to be like that forever, man.
I don't want to try and be enthusiastic about them, because then you get the Jets fans' hopes up, and then they get disappointed. You got to keep it where they don't get their hopes up, and that way, everything is
and I it's that, man, and it's sad and it sucks, but you know what, and it's they're all in that same kind of category. But at least what I can say for the Jets, at least they do, thanks to my main man, Joe Namath, they at least have a Super Bowl, victory. It was a long time ago, but a long time ago is better than never.
That is true.
Some teams only got
So when it comes
Campbell's
to the green garbage teams, they have one up on the Eagles.
That's true too, but if you combine them together, they still don't have more than the Giants.
That is correct as well.
All right. Well, I'm just checking the math. I don't mean to put anybody on blast when I say those kind of things.
You can combine them and then multiply it by 2, and
it still won't be more, right? Oh, okay. Well, you know what, Stedman, let's not take it there.
You can combine it and then add 1 per team and make that 3.
So wait. So all right. So if we carry the ones, use the square root, then it's still gonna be less.
1 for having a team in general.
Okay.
And then 1 for the ones you won. That equals 3.
Okay.
Just giving them one like a handicap kind of thing.
Okay.
Like we'll give you 1 just because you're a franchise, even though you don't actually have one.
Okay,
like
I got
a handicap.
So it's like a
golf or whatever.
But we don't do participation trophies on Real Fans Real Talk.
No, I know, but
So
I'm
you gotta
just
take
saying,
that one back.
even if you did,
there would
still be behind.
Oh, all right. Well, no, I see where you're going with that when you say that stat, man. But it's just it's always fun when we get to do this thing. I'm sorry. Sometimes I laugh when I think about teams like the Jets and the Eagles, because it's just sad. And I'm sorry to the people in the back that might feel in some type of way about these statements, but I'm just speaking facts.
Yeah, no, I understand.
If I made up something, let me know.
And I definitely know.
All right. Now,
I'm confirming those facts.
I just want to be clear.
Statement.
Let me ask. I'm gonna have to start texting the folks at home, hit them on Twitter, and make sure my mic didn't get cut off as I'm talking about the Eagles and the Jets.
That is a possibility.
Because you know how people do. And they feel some type of way about that. But we got enough football and we got enough basketball, and Ladybug is here, and I would like to get to some rumors and gossip, because we're having too much fun up here, Stat Man. So let's see what Ladybug has in store for us.
No, I miss you guys. What's up?
How was Thanksgiving?
It was good. You guys didn't come. It's okay.
Because 2 years in a row you didn't invite us.
You know what? We're going to say that.
We came back, because last year we came back and we spoke about the same thing. You didn't invite us to your house last year for Thanksgiving. You didn't invite us this year.
This is why they want me to come on, so they can bully
you didn't
me.
invite us.
This is why I can't start with them, because they
First
wait
of all,
for me to come on.
And your parents love us, so I don't even know
My parents do love you guys. They always say hi every time I come.
It's not enough to send us an invite for Thanksgiving.
No, it's probably his Ladybug doing this, and she's probably talking bad things about us.
Yeah,
so now they don't want us to come over anymore.
we were invited, and you
Yeah.
just told your mom that no, they said they don't want to come.
Exactly, and they said, "Oh, they're too Hollywood now, so they don't want to come over."
That's why she put it on live TV. You guys, again, you didn't come, as if we refused.
Exactly.
The
Yeah, exactly.
or
Well,
something.
listen, mom,
She
Pop,
knows the
let
mom
you know-
watches, so
let
she
you know
wants to
right
try
now,
to legitimize the lies.
We did not turn down your invitation. We just didn't get it from somebody who, was a little jealous, and she just didn't want us to, to be over there. But it's all good. We're gonna come over anyway. We're just gonna pop up, one night for dinner, and that's how we're gonna do it. But we're gonna try to do that. But Ladybug, it always is a pleasure when we have you back on the set. So
I miss you guys, every week.
What's going on? What we got? What you got in store for us?
Well, it's a lot going on, the year's closing out, so everyone's trying to end their year off with a bang, everybody's trying to keep up with what's happening. But I gotta give it up. Anytime I talk about Mayweather, and Trip knows, he's money team all the way. But usually when I talk about Floyd Mayweather, it's usually my Mayweather versus the world. Because usually, him doing something. Now, the attention is switching to Conor McGregor. And they may have to be McGregor versus the world in 2017. Because...
Why does he want to be like Mayweather so much?
He just added something under the belt. He got his boxing license. He got clearance. In California. He got his boxing license. So, he was in MMA. For those who don't know, he was in MMA. Now he's, a licensed boxer. I guess you you have to say that now. I'm sorry, Trip, because your face is screwing up over
No, because let me just say this. Because I feel like you do this because you want me to say this. You want me to say, where's my camera?
Oh my God.
Where's my camera?
Why?
Y'all know I'm down with the money team.
As much as he talks about the Eagles, you
Y'all
shouldn't have done that.
I'm down with the money team. Why does this man keep doing this? You gotta stop.
He
You're
wants
not
to get
gonna
paid.
Be Mayweather.
It's obvious what
It's
it is.
clear. Yeah, I mean we know what it is.
He's not gonna beat him.
I mean,
come on.
Mayweather gets a huge payday for an easy win to break the record.
But why would he? Well, first of all, I don't understand why he feels like he's worth $100 million.
Oh, there's no way Mayweather's going to agree to him receiving. Even if he did,
unless
it's
Mayweather
probably
got $500 million.
an 80-20 split or something like that with Conor McGregor.
Like, why is he just he? I think Conor McGregor wants to hit me too.
What do you guys feel that's gonna happen in 2017? Do you think this fight is gonna happen?
They're not gonna fight. Do you think
he's wasting his time? Like, what do you guys feel?
I think he's doing some great promotion and marketing for himself, Conor McGregor. But they're not going to fight because Mayweather will not ever agree to Conor McGregor making $100 million off a fight with him when he's not even made over $2 million in a fight. How you gonna jump from $2 million to $100 million?
And plus, the only way Conor McGregor would win is if it's WrestleMania, and Vince McMahon fixed it for him to win. And at that case, if that happens, you might as well make it a triple threat match.
Yeah, exactly.
With Manny Pacquiao, throw him in there, get everybody paid.
Really?
I mean, listen, I don't know. Like, he got to give this up, man. You're not going to beat Mayweather in a boxing fight. And the fact that he continues to just keep running his mouth, like, it just makes me, I really would like to say it. But you know what? I'll make it even easy for why come in and try to go for Mayweather? If you really think you got it like that, why don't you get Danny Garcia or Broner or Triple G or one of these guys or Pacquiao.
And the winner of that fight fights Mayweather.
I would like to see that.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't mind, but you come
and he'd
from
still
Mayweather.
get paid, just not as much as he would if he fought Mayweather.
Yeah, but he's still gonna get.
I think it's gonna happen, but
at least he'll get whoever he fights. He'll get at least $5 million.
The boxing world doesn't want it to happen, and
but he's
they
doing
feel
the protocol, and they can't stop him. I'm sorry to cut you off.
They feel like if Mayweather accepts that fight, he's disrespecting the sport of boxing by doing that.
I understand that, but at the same time, you know what? Sometimes, Bernie Mac used to say this. Rest in peace, Bernie Mac. But sometimes you got to get your whoopings. And that's what I think he need. He need to get his whoopings. He need Mayweather to put the paws on him beat him down, shut him up.
Even
But
if he
he's
gets
still- he's
20
still
million,
talking.
he'd care less about the whooping that he gets.
Because he's gonna win or lose, he's still gonna come back and keep talking because he got beat by Diaz and came back and was still talking the same nonsense.
Unless Mayweather wins with a knockout, which I think he actually could with
You're right.
McGregor.
He could because
He usually doesn't, but if he doesn't, then McGregor's definitely going to talk just like everyone else. He was afraid to fight me, and he was just dancing around the ring. But that's what Mayweather does. He's a defensive boxer. But in this case, I think Mayweather will actually knock him out within the first 3 rounds.
And that's the sad part about it. Like, first of all, we saw this with Ronda Rousey and Holly Holm. Where when she lost to Holly Holm, she lost to someone who's a boxer, and she couldn't deal with those hands. It's not the same when you're fighting MMA and you're combining all these different martial arts. You might have some guys that have a little bit of hand skills, but you're not dealing with an actual boxer. This is all they do is box. And then on top of that, you're talking about one of the greatest to ever, fight in the sport of boxing. The best defensive fighter, maybe even, period. So you're not going to catch Mayweather. And because he's so fast. And everybody says, look at Canelo. After Canelo fought Mayweather, he was so confused and so flabbergasted. He was like, I didn't think he was that fast. Nobody thinks Mayweather's as fast as he is. And
they just watch it on TV.
And he's not, he's not a knockout fighter
anymore.
Look a lot
but he's slower still when you're watching him on TV.
But he still hits really hard. He still can knock you out. And when you're dealing with somebody who's coming over from MMA, this is not what you do, McGregor. You got to stop this, okay? Because you're gonna be embarrassed.
Well,
the boxing world, even though the boxing world says that is disrespectful for the sport of boxing, I think it's the opposite. I think Mayweather should take the fight, and he should prove, that UFC is not,
you can't just make that transition.
UFC fighters are not coming into the boxing world and just doing that.
Even from the standpoint
knocking them out within the first 3 rounds would just solidify
that would quiet down all those guys, and it's more, if you look at just the money itself. Okay, if these MMA guys could really box, and we spoke about this before, why are you not boxing?
Yeah.
Because there's way more money in the sport of boxing right now. Because only Conor McGregor, John Jones, and I'm not even sure if Ronda Rousey's been paid over $1 million yet for a fight, but there's only a handful of people in MMA that have been paid more than $1 million. These boxers are getting paid tens, 20 million. The top guys anyway in the sport. So if you're really that nice and you think that you could step in the ring with a boxer in their world, in their
it's
sport,
even less dangerous.
Exactly, and it's less dangerous because you're not getting kicks to the head, you're not being choked out. Why would you not be doing that already?
Well, we're going to keep this going. This is going to be a never-ending conversation, but definitely look out for that. I don't know what's going to happen. I feel like he's preparing. He's preparing for it, and you can't knock him. He's doing it the right way.
Mayweather's still preparing.
If it doesn't happen this year, I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Yeah, no, it's
Mayweather's up there in age, so.
Yeah.
Going back to Diaz, this was funny to me, and don't get me wrong, I respect the culture, but Nick Diaz is being the self-proclaimed #1 stoner athlete. He says he's quote unquote the face of weed for athletes.
I don't know if he's necessarily the face of weed, but I appreciate his confidence. And when he says that,
there's a lot of athletes.
And that's what it's going into. Basically,
you even have Michael Phelps, too.
Yeah, basically what his point was that he's just trying to be the advocate for athletes using cannabis, and basically how it's more of a benefit than a harm or a disadvantage to them. And he went on an interview just saying, hey, I use cannabis after a fight, after you get knocked out, after you're hurting, it helps, it's beneficial to him. He's one of those people that he looks for attention, but he's been failing drug tests several times. So this is not just a new thing and he's just coming out and just being, yes, I use cannabis. This is, trial and error, and he's just accepting it and trying to make a positive. But I don't, every state has their jurisdictions with cannabis. So to say you're number one, everyone's not going to gravitate the same way.
Yeah.
So, and that's just how the politics work in that. But
you're not even that big of a name in the sports world for you to be,
Yeah,
number
and that's-
one
that's why I said
athlete.
self-proclaimed
That's
in the beginning.
that's really what it is. He's not
that's what
he's
I'm
not a
saying,
big
like, he
enough
needs-
name. I mean, now if Conor McGregor has said that,
He's probably smoking the same thing Conor McGregor is.
Yeah, he think that he's getting right with
McGregor
Mayweather, but and I want because actually first of all I want to shout out 1000 Watts magazine. It's a cannabis magazine. They asked me to write an article for the magazine, and it's in their last issue. About dealing with athletes and the use of marijuana. And there's a lot of athletes that use, marijuana. Some of them are more forthcoming with their usage of it, but they're in states where you can actually use it and it's legal to use. You got guys like, Ricky Williams, who left the sport of football.
That's the first person I think of when you think of
now
athletes
he's
that
probably
but that's a while ago.
yeah,
so.
but then you have Michael Phelps. You have, you got a couple of Cy Young Award winners.
Yeah, now that
with my man Timmy Lincecum, who's been known to dabble.
The fact that it's more socially acceptable.
Yeah.
Athletes are, they're not as forthcoming, but they do condone it. And
he got to get his weight up there. He can't just be saying that. He's not that popular.
I do see his point after a fight or even after, a football game or whatever with muscles being sore. I mean, I don't do any of that, but I see, like, it's less dangerous than you have Percocets and Oxys and all the other ones that are acceptable, because those are prescription drugs, and those are far more dangerous and addictive and unhealthy for your body than cannabis is. So I see his point there, even though he didn't necessarily make the comparison. But after a fight, that would make sense as far as a different pain reliever as opposed to the other methods out there. So there's one, somewhat smart thing out of what he said. I mean, I don't exactly condone the use of any drugs, but I just want to be politically correct there with that statement. I, Mark Statman, Skevich does not approve that message. So.
Just say no.
but yeah, so.
So, that's... We're going to see how that goes. I don't know how marketable he is with the statement. I don't know how far he's going to get with the statement. But,
Well, he'll definitely get on the cover of High Times eventually.
I guess. I don't know how that works. And, going into... Shout outs to Snoop Dogg, a.k.a. Uncle Snoop, a.k.a. Snoop Lion. And that's a person that you would associate marijuana with. But he's not in
an
this.
athlete,
He did play a few charity events. That
He
counts.
plays in the celebrity
I
games.
guess it counts.
And now he's cooking with Martha Stewart, so, he's really doing his thing now.
But he's definitely on a more serious note, because he definitely said his 2 cents about the whole Jeff Fisher incident and, the feud with Eric Dickerson and the Rams and things like that. So Snoop went to say, he deserved all access, with the whole situation that happened, and that Jeff Fisher should be fired. So I don't know. What do you guys feel about that? And
if Uncle Snoop said that, I'm with him. I don't know what Uncle Snoop said it, you might as well take it to the bank. Cause that's Uncle Snoop is that's California right there, and he's a huge sports fan, huge football fan. He coaches in Pee Wee football. He's been doing that for years, So if he said it, I'm riding with Uncle Snoop on that one.
It's definitely not looking good for Fisher.
Not even like it's not even like they're winning either. So
Yeah, so that's basically that.
Not that I've ever seen him really win like that
Gurley
either.
Isn't doing well, and he had high expectations for him, so it's just
yeah. But you know what? It's all good. But like I said, Uncle Snoop said it. We're gonna put the stamp on it, and we're gonna show y'all a little quick snippet from the uncensored version. Well, it's not really uncensored because
we can't do that.
No, but we got Math to actually not curse. So we're gonna play just a little snippet from it for you guys. He's talking about the incident with Shotgun Suge and Sue Surf.
Man, here we go.
So we're gonna play that, and when we come back, we got Cortez in the building, and we're gonna talk some Knicks because I've been getting at him. Man, we go back and forth through the text, and I be talking about the Knicks all the time. So now that they're finally at 500, he felt safe enough to come on to Real Fans Real Talk and go back and forth about the New York Knicks. Knickerbockers.
To defend Cortez before he comes on, this was booked about a month ago, so it wasn't after they got to 500.
So now he just got a little bit more ammo.
Spoiler alert.
But we're gonna jump into that, and when we come back, Cortez will be joining us.
Stay tuned.
And make sure y'all checking us out, realfansrealtalk.com.
Just oh, yeah, hurry up, come on. I gotta put the mics on.
All right, he just left you and want to go center stage, right? All right.
Not the right video at all.
What? Who did that?
We do not condone any
Oh my
cursing
God.
that might
Definitely.
be going on in this video.
Tell him to cut it. Tell him to cut it.
Wait, now you.
I don't know. Everybody thought they changed their channel now. Yeah. Just make sure it's not too much on your neck because you don't want it to rub when you
Put it on the
talking.
shot with us.
All right, so welcome back. And we just this is what we do.
A little bit more zoomed
Yeah, this is what we
in,
do
but
though. It's okay because Cortez is here and Mark Anthony is here. Cortez has his son here with them,
going
and they're ready to talk some basketball right now. I
Only
guess
on live TV.
exactly.
This is how you do it.
This is the only way this is gonna happen like this.
First off,
Okay.
first off, okay, you're not gonna sit here and degrade my Knicks.
Listen, I do it all the time.
Listen, this was booked before 500. Okay? We're excited.
Thank
You know what?
Mark
And
Anthony.
the fact that you would come up here and act like this for your team being 500, it just says it all right there.
No, it doesn't.
Because listen. First of all right, because we're gonna go back a little bit, right? Now, were you alive the last time the Knicks won an NBA
Of
championship?
course not. Of course not.
I don't even think Statman was. And Statman is ancient, and he wasn't even alive the last time the Knicks won a championship.
Listen.
So tell me,
The Knicks I grew up on, 92 and better. The first NBA game I watched, Xavier McDaniel bullying people in the playoffs, okay? When it comes to Knicks fans, I live and die with it. See, there's a thing called loyalty nowadays that these young guys over here just don't know nothing about. You understand? This
He's not that
orange and
much
this blue. This orange and blue, I bleed it for a reason. And you see it's hereditary, so...
you know what?
Yeah, I'm glad that you're raising your son right with the Knicks hat, so he officially gets my
Look, he got the
approval
mellows on.
automatically.
I didn't have to tell him how to dress. He said, what? We're coming up here, we're going to talk.
And I, you know what? And I appreciate the fact that he's here. And you know what?
I let him
He
defend
knows his
us.
stuff though. Like honestly,
Yes, and that's what I want to know is,
He's ready. Look at him. He's looking-
yeah, he is. He got the.
He got your face
hold on,
on
this
right
ain't
before
the
you
battle
battle.
rap stage now.
Right
Hold on,
before you battle, he got
He's
your
All right,
face.
slow down, slow down, right?
What?
Cut this. Yeah, slow down for a second
Ready
now.
for the coin to flip.
Now, do you honestly believe that the Knicks can beat the Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference Finals?
What you trying to say we're going to the... Let's say this. All right. So...
Oh, that was his father. I'm
look.
sorry.
I'm not worried about that right now. What I'm worried about is getting our chemistry right now. You know, we did have a close game against Timberwolves, 5-13 now since we beat them. But, come on, once the Knicks get chemistry and they know how to run their offense and get a little bit of defense, I feel like they should make a little bit, at least one trade to trade somebody. But once we get that done, and then when we're 30 and 12, I don't want to hear you talking about, the Knicks, they
That would mean
they had a
First of all,
that would mean they'd have to go 21 and 3
Yeah. Now I don't know if that's good.
during
Now
the next 24 games.
You started off good. I said, you know what? He did his homework. He came up here. He was prepared. But then you 30 and 12. That's real
Listen,
stretch.
kids can dream.
Maybe for next
Knicks
year.
thing
after
in
that.
general is a
I
dream.
feel like
Gotta all be
Listen,
quiet. If it
I feel like we're moving in the right direction. I feel like even the off season acquisitions of the foreign players like Willie Herman Gomez and
Mendauskas,
these guys are actually understanding their role, and for this to be this early in the season, for them to be not so like hesitant. Like they're comfortable. They understand their role. I just feel the Knicks have defensive issues. It's nothing wrong with the offense. We're putting up 100, 105, 110 almost every game.
But we're letting
It's just our
112.
opponents are scoring 115, 120. There's a lot of games that could have went the other way that the Knicks record could look different.
And in the
but we're
defense
also
of the
playing
Knicks,
clutch games.
because I
We're
did,
building that camaraderie.
I did, like I said, I picked them to lose to the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals. So I said, they do have to get their chemistry down. And you're right, the defense is where they're lacking the most because they're not getting that out of Joakim Noah, who's supposed to be the anchor coming in on the defensive end. He's
That's
not
true.
playing up to his level. And I think, that might have been the only acquisition this offseason that I really had a problem with, because if he's not there now, and he's been getting banged up the past couple of seasons, and now you got him locked in for 4 years with that
I
kind
don't
of
know why I didn't like that contract
that's
either.
going to be a problem for the Knicks. But if they can't make a trade, I know they were talking about bringing over Jahlil Okafor and trading O'Quinn and Holiday. They was talking about that, which could help them.
Yeah,
but
that
You
would
think
be
Philly
nuts
would do
for-
that? I don't think
that's-
Philly would
there's
do
no
that.
way they would
that's
do that.
that's the thing. So now,
Holiday actually surprising me too.
yeah,
And
he's
the way
playing
Noah's
decent ball.
playing, it's going to be hard to dump that contract too. So.
Yeah. Where do you think they'll be by the All-Star break?
The Knicks?
Yeah.
Second.
And realistic, we second in the East?
No, I think let's be realistic. Come on, let's
Atlantic.
be realistic.
Says
Thank you. Thank you.
the
Thank
30
you.
and 12.
Thank you.
I think Porzingis is gonna have a breakout season today. Not today, this season. So I feel like we won't be second, we won't be third, but I feel like we'll be like a good 5th or 4th seed, if not maybe 6th. I don't see us being 7th or 8th. And the thing, unless Rose gets injured or Porzingis gets injured, and then it's only like left with Melo and Rose or Melo and Porzingis. But by the time the All-Star break comes, and by the time the Knicks get the chemistry, we're gonna be in good formation. And I think this year I had them going second place, but now looking at it, I feel like this is more of a rebuild, also trying to get back to the old Knicks and trying to scratch out that we won 16 games 2 years ago.
Yeah,
trying
I
to
did that. Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, we're trying to get rid of that and just
Yeah.
create a new.
Trying to rig-
Yeah,
I
I need
think we're
to
doing
do that. You need to.
I think we're doing that.
I feel like the ending of the season will be third or fourth.
What's our record right now?
9 and
9
9.
and 9.
9
9,
500.
I say we're 24 and 17 at the halfway point,
It's not bad.
and 41.
That's not bad
But
for a
the
team that's been
East-
sorry for so long, Stat Man. So if that's what it is, I'm okay with that. I can accept that. Now, as far as you go, I would say you might want them to strive for 6th place because they don't want to see the Cavaliers early in the playoffs. 'Cause that's just going to be embarrassing for them. At least, if they can make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, I think they can stretch it out to 6 games before LeBron just completely, does what he does and then moves on to his
Knicks
next
need to be in
NBA
the 2 and 3,
Finals.
6, 7th seed.
Yeah,
that
they need
avoid
to.
them.
Yeah, basically, and it's okay because I know you guys are really pulling for this thing to come together.
So arrogant.
Bro, Toronto made the conference finals last year. We're already better than Toronto from last year. Let's be for real.
I think the Knicks could finish third. I see them going between 3 and
The
6.
Pacers,
but
I
think
thought were
third
a
is
threat.
definitely
I don't look at them as a
realistic.
threat anymore.
They're-
Yeah, I thought they
they're-
would be so much better than they are getting
They
Jeff
have
Teague.
problems.
Yeah,
They
You
really
understand?
Jefferson's not living up to expectations. Thaddeus Young is averaging 5.2 points a game.
they're not. They're
He's not doing
well.
good at all.
So you look at that. Rose is showing that he can still be one of the top point guards in the league.
He is.
Jennings still got a couple years left in his tank. That pick and roll is becoming so difficult to deal with Porzingis. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's Rose running a pick and roll. It doesn't matter if it's Jennings. And they know that. And they know that they have a quick enough first step that they can get to the rack.
Yeah.
So if they get to the cup and they double him, they're not even
kick it
looking
out.
anymore.
Yeah.
They're just throwing it back there, and he's at the top of the key. And that
Yeah.
player at least ran once or twice a quarter.
Yeah,
And
and I
goes
said
for
it. I
He's
told
scoring
Statman
20 a
earlier.
game now.
The confidence in Porzingis
Effortlessly.
right now is through the roof with his shot. I was saying that
Bro,
earlier.
he put the ball on the floor the other day, crossed over, spun, and just
He's
He's
doing
playing
everything.
well.
Every game, you see something new at Porzingis. Come on, he will post fade you. He will hit it in your face, fade away, hit a game winner, dunk on you.
Is he better than Towns?
Not right now.
Not yet.
But
What
I
do you think
I said last year that Porzingis can finish his career as the greatest European player of all time. Like that's the potential that I saw in Porzingis.
Do you see him finishing as the greatest Knicks player of all time?
No.
One of the greatest Knicks players?
One of the greatest Knicks players, but I mean
Health.
it's rough. It's health, but it's rough because what Patrick Ewing did for the Knicks, Willis Reed,
All he has to do is bring a ring to New York, and then
he'll definitely
did that twice.
so he'll definitely be catapulted up there. But it's hard to because those guys what they did for the Knicks organization, even though the Knicks didn't win in the '90s, they were still
they were one of the
team.
best teams in the '90s.
Yeah, and they were a team that you did not want to see because they were so physical, and you weren't gonna come punk the Knicks at that point. I don't know what happened recently, but
the Knicks talent-wise, when you look at their roster and the players they have, they're a top 5 starting 5 in the league, not just the Eastern Conference, in my opinion. And then you look at the bench, same thing, top 5 as far as depth in the bench. They got a better bench than Golden State, and everyone says, I heard some other people on ESPN say the Knicks don't have a bench. I'm like, what are you kidding me? Jennings could start for half the teams in the NBA, and O'Quinn, and the list goes on with their bench. So
Gomez is playing good.
he's playing really well.
And you got to understand, these guys are all first-year players. The Knicks have gotten a lot younger this year, too.
First and second year.
So Melo has to. I feel like this is where Melo has to really sit there and start molding that team. Because, the media is going to throw out a lot of, they're already throwing out a lot of things like, hey, is it KP's team? Is it Melo's team?
Is KP better than Melo?
Well, that's
They're
the
going
thing.
to try to do that. And I think the only way Melo to X that out is to honestly sit there and start molding these players into their potential and start honing it, and then they're going to fall in line.
Is Melo that kind of player, though? And that's where the challenge is going to be for the Knicks. Can Melo be like a LeBron from the standpoint of just making everybody else better around him and really leading that team? Because that team is only going to go as far as Melo takes them.
Well, if you look at it, Porzingis is only doing good. Like, I'm not trying to hate on, I love Porzingis. I love him, but Porzingis is shooting 49% when Melo's on the floor. When Melo's out, he's only shooting 35. So that shows how much attraction Melo brings to the Knicks. Everybody knows Melo's probably one of the best ISO players in the game so far. He could score on anything. But once KP's teammate leaves him, Melo knows. Just because he's isolating doesn't mean he doesn't see the whole floor. And I feel like Melo's starting to pass more. He's starting to be a floor general now.
And that's what they're going to
great stat there. Stat man approved. So, we definitely do appreciate that. But it is about time, unfortunately, to wrap things up. I want to shout out Cortez for bringing his son and bringing his son prepared to battle it out.
Next
with the
time,
big
could
boys.
you please make sure that he gets here on time? Because he has a problem with time. Okay, he's always late. This one, he didn't want to. No, because I had to do this because he didn't want me to really go in on the Knicks. So that's why he's like, I'm gonna come late so that Trip can't really go in on the Knicks like he wants to.
See, at least it's not just me. I don't feel bad because he
listen,
do this.
listen.
By the next time,
I'm not B Magic. He's not gonna just come up in here and on my battle rap stage, all right, and think you're gonna take me out.
Cut off in a few seconds. So once again, shout out to Cortez, shout out to Ladybug, Trip Young. I'm Mark the Statman Skevich. Thank you all for joining us. RealFansRealTalk.com is the website, and we'll see you next week, everyone.
Good night.
Shout out to Pop too, man. We miss you.
Yes.
Get well soon.
RealFansRealTalk.com. Where Arthur Diamonds, Trip Young, and intern Tom. For the white and black fans, Asia to Manhattan. I get all my facts from my bro Mark the Stats Man. If you're not tuned in, I recommend the CAT scan. And if your brain checks out, then you deserve a backhand. Sports, gossip, all the hot topics. RealFansRealTalk.com got it. They got the hottest bloggers. Is Jeremy Lin hurt? Well, log onto the site and you can hear it from them first. I'm talking about the latest. I'm talking about the greatest. Go check out the archives. Even tell a neighbor. Tell them Bobby sent ya. From spring to winter, tuning in should be the only thing on your agenda.